has anything to chit chat about.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. While he does the poopy diaper thing, such is life. I'm glad you don't have a poopy diaper, right? Yeah. Okay. I totally slept on my neck wrong, and my head is just, my neck's killing me. All right, so let's see here. Who's got questions there? Bill Coyne, Houston, I love your shows, but this one is hypothetical situations, wishful thinking, etc. I mean, it would be great to make changes, but it's not focused on the how. It's just the wish. Well, the how is money. That's the how. It's you got to pay to play, and you know, let's say we got 10 million retail investors out there. If we can get 5 million of them to like join a 501c3 at 10, 20, $50 a year, that would be a strong enough financial weight that you can then throw behind these campaigns. Granted, I know people will be like, you know what, I don't want my campaign finding money going to this particular person because of this reason, which is why you'd have to set up a mission statement that's like, we're not going to focus on any other political platforms whatsoever. We're just going to be doing just if they're going to support like a Retail Investor Protection Act, and that's it. They might have all sorts of evils associated with them, but we would have to kind of just limit it to that one scope. You know, I like as much it would pay me to like send money to Ted Cruz or something because he's completely off my politics. If he was behind a Retail Investor Protection Act, then that's the one campaign issue you'd have to go for. So that's the how, Bill. That's the how. Money. Sad thing is, money talks, bullshit walks. That's where we are. Okay. Let's see here. Seems to be a lot of people getting deleted for reasons in the chat today. Looked like we had a Nazi in here earlier. Is that what happened? Goodness gracious. Yep. Looks like we had a straight up Nazi dude in here. Cool. Let's okay. Export that guy. We're gonna click that. Sorry. There was a Nazi that was in the chat being a monster with little swastikas and stuff, so make sure we got that reported and deleted. All right.
So many trolls, man. Any good questions? I missed anything good?
So, all right. Welcome back. Poopy diaper all taken care of?
Yeah, mother-in-law just came up.
Your microphone's off.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, no. Still not there.
Did you put me on mute? Put me on mute?
Mine's on. Did it turn off? See if that
Can you hear me?
All right. Try again.
Can you hear me? My mute's not on.
Weird. Okay. It's popping through.
It's not mine.
On that end.
Yeah, it's not.
One second. My headphones just crapped out. Reboot.
Yeah, it might be your headphones.
Okay. One more time?
I think it's your headphones.
So weird.
Yeah, it might be your headphones.
There we go. Okay. All right. Yep.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah. Gotcha. Sorry. If it goes silent for a couple minutes, it just turns itself off. And awesome.
Oh.
Okay. So poopy diaper's taken care of, and we're good. Awesome.
Until they want to bug me again. But anyway, sorry guys. That's the life of being a dad. I'm sure plenty of you out there got kids.
Yep.
Any good questions pop up in the chat?
Well, basically just talk to one. Bill Coyne was talking about, we have a wish list, but we're really talking about how to accomplish these things. And I was just saying money. That's the only way that, say we got 10 million retail investors who are, kind of the apes total across the board. And half of those could pay a membership fee to like a 501c3. That would be a substantial war chest in which we could take to members of Congress and be like, hey, Can you schedule us for an appointment? I'd love to sit down and talk with you about the Retail Investors Protection Act and what you can do for us and how perhaps we could help you with your next campaign. And that's how you do it. That's it. That's the simplest way.
So that if you research the NRA's development, now of course I'm a Marine, so I like
Yeah.
my guns, but anyway, if you do some research in the NRA and just Google it and really look into their way their program's designed and put together, it actually lays out exactly what would be awesome with subdivisions of it. Because that's exactly what you just said is exactly what I'd like to be able to accomplish and get started, is to have that retail similar to NRA, but the retail side. I called it what did I write? RITE was what I
Yeah.
was kind of coming up with, the retail investor traders something I forget anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, the same idea. You pull people's money together. You know, the NRA only has like 5.1 million members,
Yeah.
and they've been around over 100 something years, and they are one of the biggest lobbying freaking firms
Mhm.
possible out there. I mean, they're full on involved in the politics, especially with gun rights and other rights. So
Yeah.
if we could pull together retail traders, they're supposed to be, you might know this better than I, but I think they're supposed to be like up to 100 million people that trade stocks
Oh, yeah,
outside
easily.
of 401k.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So, I mean,
you know, the apes portion of it are a minority. We're just a bunch of loud assholes. And so,
yeah,
yeah. But everyone else, they, you know,
small
they
portion.
put their money into their mutual fund every month. They put their money in their 401k every month, and they don't think about it.
Yeah.
But having a group that can make them aware of why, you know, their 401k isn't growing the way it should, or why their mutual fund is stagnating because they're lending shares out that get shorted into oblivion, and being able to mainstream that is, I think, a huge deal. There's, you know, I don't know if you ever watch like the local news. They'll have weird little segments of the local news that happen to be produced by these private organizations as a news piece, and then they just give it to the local news as a 5-minute filler. So, you know, as a 501c3, you could produce these things like, hey, everybody, this is Tom so-and-so, and I'm here to tell you about investment tips or whatever. And they put this little thing, and all of a sudden across all these little networks all over America, a bunch of older people who watch the news, because no young people don't, go, oh my goodness, I did not know my 401k was being abused that way. It says here,
What the SEC,
yeah.
basically what we're talking about is reforming the SEC.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be what the SEC does.
Yeah.
They're little investor ed commercials and crap. But
yeah,
dude, how cool would it be to put a commercials all over America? Like, how cool would it be to get stuff out there,
Yep.
you know, and be educating? And I look at the educational side too. I mean, this program could be very educational to provide educational services about trading, basic stock market fundamentals, all those kind of things. So you get the real information, not the misinformation. Because unfortunately, you know, I've said some misinformation because I repeat crap that I didn't know for sure, right?
Yeah.
But be able to provide a service that people could, it's fighting for them, educating them, and at the same time, part of what I want to do is, you know, with the rallying and getting out there and bringing in new members, and getting them hyped up, but at the same time, teaching them about getting out of debt, about getting into investing and the purpose of investing, you know, and changing people's lives and getting the younger people. My God, we need to get the young people. We need to be in high schools. We need to be in schools teaching these things. We need to get them educated in finances, man, because then they're not 40 years old like I am, 44, and didn't start investing until I was 39 or 40.
Yeah.
You know, I'm so far behind the freaking curveball. I got to take these risky money making squeeze plays right now to try to catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jigish Shakula, are you guys starting a 501c or just talking about it? If someone had one started that was open in its accounting, would you support it? Yeah, totally. I mean, if the goal is to get Congress to pass retail investment protection, I'm all for it. I don't care who does it. If I have to do it, awesome. If I don't have to do it, even better. But
it just needs to be done.
Yeah, it just needs to be done. Yeah.
And it's gonna take work and effort, but it needs to be done.
Yeah.
And you know, there's another thing, Houston, reason why I agree that needs to be done is, and maybe you can agree with me too, it's up to you, but we look at, like I said, I got into trading late. I think with these new apps and Robinhood and Webull and all these new ways, E-Trade, Fidelity, with these new apps, more and more people are trading, more and more people are investing in these apps. I think the generational change of people that just buy, you know, baskets of stocks or do mutual funds, 401ks, the younger folks are now starting to take that on. They're starting to see the money they can make
Mm-hmm.
and invest in themselves. So I think we have an entire shift that is occurring to where, you know, your Edward Jones on every street corner is not going to be needed anymore.
Yeah.
As the baby boomers start to leave, my generation, and then your, you know, I'm not sure your age, but you seem like you're a little
I'll be
behind me.
42 this year, so I'm pretty
Oh,
close.
then
Yeah.
we're the same age.
Yeah.
Okay. So the ones that are directly behind us, you know, the 30-year-olds, 25-year-olds that are really getting into investing,
Yeah.
this is an entire shift. And I think the whole market is going to change completely. And that means that we're going to need something to support those investors.
Yeah.
Before, it didn't matter. Everybody just paid in through their work and nobody paid attention. And
Yep.
they were like, well, let it come back around, like my neighbor.
Yeah.
He's griping. He's like, dude, why are you fighting this? Just leave those douchebags alone. He says, the market will come back. It always does.
Yep.
And I'm like, dude, that's the problem, though. Every freaking 10 or 15 years, they destroy the market. That means in another 15 years, when we hit retirement age, the market's going to get screwed again. And then we're going to be sitting there broke, going back to Walmart to supplement our income.
Exactly.
Because they robbed us again in the market. That shit's got to stop.
So the aunt so earlier today, I took my aunt out to lunch. And so when her aunt passed away, she was left a whole bunch of Wachovia stock. And she passed away in January 2008 or something. And so she was left all this Wachovia stock, and 9 months later, gone. like what had been her aunt's retirement was going to basically be my aunt's retirement, disappeared. And then Wells Fargo scooped up and bought all of Wachovvia's assets for pennies, and that was it. This several $100,000 of stock gone entirely, poof, because of, lack of regulation of the markets. I'm sure everybody in the chat has seen The Big Short, and there's the scene where they go to the rater, the people who rate securities, and they say, "Why'd you rate this AAA?" And they're like, "Well, if we didn't, they'd just go to Moody's, and Moody's rated AAA." Like, that's not regulating. That's yeah, okay. So why do you get to choose the person who rates your securities? Why doesn't the person who rates your securities just rate them regardless of whether you choose them or not? Why can't they be like, yeah, it's garbage, don't buy these mortgage-backed securities, 20% of what's in there is worthless? So we have an incredibly broken system that's built upon these self-regulatory organizations, and they constantly investigate themselves and find themselves innocent. And it blows up in our face every 10, 15 years.